Greetings, gamer guys and gals! Welcome to part 42 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 5 Thracia 776, and in today's episode, we're going to be finishing off the rest of this chapter, taking out the Galban Ritter and all these other foes that need to be utterly destroyed. Dismantled, even. Sarah can go ahead and get her first little bit of fighting experience points here, which is nice. Awesome. Paragon is such a beauty. It never gives you more than a full level up, though, so it's almost a wasted skill on this difficulty. But, or not on this difficulty, but on Paragon mode. But it's all right. All right, so let's get Sarah a bit more experience points. It's not like Dean needs it. We'll equip that. Perfect. And a whole nother level up. Sarah is definitely one of those units that I love promoting as soon as I possibly can. This guy has only one attack speed. He is going to attack Salem, most likely. We can move here in the cover of the bushes. Oh wow, she crit. Yeah, that's the one thing about Sarah, though, is because she has no follow-up critical modifier, she is not really going to be good concerning that matter, but she's more of an enemy phase tank. She's one of the units that comes baseline being able to use something like Nosferatu and tanking just forever and a day. Problem is that Nosferatu is a B-level light ranked tome, and I don't think she can use it after promotion. I think she only gets one to her light level after promotion. Not truly sure on that matter, so who knows? But we'll be finding out once I do promote her. Yeah, this rewarping Jormungand... Oh, he didn't even rewarp. That's crazy. Okay. It would be nice if Karen didn't KO, and she didn't. Nice. Sarah would like another bit of experience points. In fact, she'd love it. Yeah, so we've been on this chapter a little bit longer than I originally had hoped, but oh well. You know what? We're having a great and glorious time. A bunch of lances here. Kind of wish they had javelins. I would almost be tempted to buy them. Let's go ahead and fill up our inventory with men's. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, we can take and move Shroff out of the way. Shroff. Very weird name. Yeah, so originally I only gave the Light Tome to Safi for self-defense. After this chapter, I'll be giving Sarah Wind. Wind is arguably far and away better than Light, even though it does have less critical. I just think it's better, all in all. For a unit like Sarah, she doesn't need Light, especially because Light will weigh her down way more than Wind. And Safi will get her Light Tome back for self-defense. That's really all she's got it for, so she can't be captured immediately and all her staff stolen. Not exactly a fun time. Jormungand. Very nice. I don't know that Sarah can hit twice here. Okay, she can, actually. So, there's no point in having Karen do some chip damage first. Tomes are obviously more rare and harder to come by in this game than regular weapons. But it's not that big a deal. Staff. We could trade Shroff He can't use that staff, but we could trade and then get that men staff over to you. And then we'll use that men staff for a little bit of extra experience points, because we're going to be done with this chapter pretty much now. That's a pretty good amount of experience points there, and yeah, we're finished. We have completed everything that this chapter has to offer us. We've managed to capture the castle gates, but many more foes doubtless await us inside. Don't let your guard down, Prince Leif. Then we've little choice but to eliminate them all at once, excessive though it may seem. The man inside, Marcus Gustav, is King Bloom's right-hand man, and he's been ruling Leonster with an iron fist. How many people have died at his whim? Kill Gustav and hang his head from the castle gates. Don't waste your mercy on him. You must fulfill your duty as ruler. Amen. Amen. Would be nice if we started thinking that way today, wouldn't it? Prince Leif, we've captured the commander of the Silesians. What shall we do with her? Let her through, please. I want to have a look at her. Is it true you're the commander of the Silesian forces? This is a waste of time. I don't expect mercy from you. Just kill me and get over with it. This isn't going to work, Prince. The Pegasus Knights of Celeste value honor above all. After leading her troops to their death, the shame would be too much to bear, especially as a prisoner. We should grant her death as she wishes. That would be mercy. Duke Dorius, don't say something so stupid. Captain Misha, you have something to protect, don't you? How will you do that if you die here? Those poor kids in Celeste aren't depending on you. You haven't thought about them. Ah, how do you know about that? I asked one of your troops. I saw her lying on the battlefield and tried to help. That was when she told me. I didn't know how many people were going hungry in the places where the Empire still is in charge. So many children, thin as a blade of grass, just wasting away. She told me she'd hired on the Empire with the Empire just to buy food. Lady Misha, don't you see the irony? It's almost funny, in a macabre way. By helping the Empire, you're sacrificing the children of another country to save the children of your own country. The Empire is conducting child hunts in Thracia, and it won't be long until they do the same in Celeste. Who will you protect, Celeste? Who will protect Celestia's royal or children then? Child hunts? What in blazes are you talking about? So you don't know? Then I want you to live a little longer and see the truth for yourself. I sentence you to live, to bear witness to our pain and suffering. I'm sorry. I'm a little overwhelmed here. Just give me some time. I need to think. You may have all the time you want, Misha. Acting without pause or reprieve, the Liberation Army had broken through to Castle Leonster. They now stormed the gates with renewed fury. They fought for only one thing, the throne of Leonster. The kingdom's rebirth, Leif's greatest desire, was tantalizingly close to becoming reality. This is an incredible doozy of a chapter, and one of the most difficult, probably near the most difficult in this entire game, if not the most difficult, if you are planning on recruiting Xavier. Yes, you can recruit him. I might as well throw this out pretty much immediately, because Xavier is the one unit I was speaking about who, in a way, totally throws out the greatness that Dawson could have. He's a general, so he's the promoted version of Dawson. The reason why this is, though, isn't really because he's a general, because I don't really think that that's that useful in this game. What's useful is Xavier's skills. Accost, Pevise, level percent chance to negate enemy's attack, and it's Pavis, not Pevise. And then Wrath. So these skills are something that you can't put on Dawson. You can put a cost, you can put Wrath on him, but you can't put Pavis. This is the only character in this game who gets this, and the reason why, and it even says personal skill, it's not a class skill. None of these are class skills here. When you promote to General, the only thing you get access to is 3 other weapon types, and they're all E rank. So Xavier here having A in axes, bows, C in swords, so he's reaching those benchmarks, and E in lances sounds terrible, but he doesn't need them at all. Doesn't need lances, period, whatsoever. In fact, I'm very glad that he has the weapon ranks he does, because he is an incredible unit for that. This is a class skill for Barons. I'm pretty sure, yep, Gustav is a Baron, class skill, Pavis. And we get the Adept manual from him, so we're going to have to make sure we take that from him ASAP. Gustav is the real boss here, but Xavier is just as much of a boss as Gustav. Now, the problem is that there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of enemies here whom need to be KO'd. And then there's ones that need to be kept alive. So the ones that are named with a face are Xavier's lieutenants. They all have, I believe, killer weapons. And they all also have Miracle. I also believe Adept. Yes. I think they all have this. So they're actually kind of a bit tough to defeat. Vigor stars and all as well. Too bad Xavier doesn't have some Vigor stars. You have to get all of his lieutenants to be able to talk with all of these units over here in order for them to go green, and then you have to talk to Xavier with Leif. There is a couple other side things you can do in this chapter. The Leonster Lance Knights, or I should say soldiers, which are pretty well all of them if I'm not mistaken. They all have javelins as their only weapon. They will attack you at range. It's not so difficult to keep them alive, but I'm not going to be trying to particularly, just because it's a bit of a pain to deal with. If you keep the Leonster soldiers alive, you get access to the secret shop with the member card. They give you the member card, particularly. That's why I said if you're planning on going to the secret shop, you might want to go the B route, because then you'll have bargain. I'm not planning on it. There is pretty well no chance I'm going to be saving these guys alive unless something crazy happens. Because for the most part, I just want to deal with potentially recruiting Xavier. I've done it a couple of times before, but only a couple of times because it's excessively tedious. He is the hardest recruitable character in all of the Fire Emblem series. Bar none. There is nobody who even remotely comes close. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. So whether or not I do get to recruit him all depends on whether or not these units will allow me to recruit them. Or turn them green so that I can recruit Xavier. Other than that, we're going to be going ahead and skipping over my item management and deployment, as it takes quite a while in this point of the game. So I'll see you all in just a few. And we are back to this daunting chapter. Yes, Leif is getting that magic ring. I had to put a couple of stamina drinks on units, like Shroff. Necessarily, I didn't have to do that. Well, I did, actually, because both Safi and Shroff are fatigued, and either one are my warp users. So I did need one, so I'm using Shroff. I'm bringing Salfina just for combat purely because obviously she's going to end up being dismounted. So, you know, that's not that great, but it's okay. Asbel, of course. Ocean for combat. Parn for, you know, lockpicking. Marita, obviously, for combat. She also has a few more magic scrolls. So now she has, you know, a 55% magic growth right now, which is great. That's exactly what I want. Her luck growth doesn't matter, and her defense doesn't matter either. I actually don't want her defense to grow anymore. I think it's at just a good enough level. We're also bringing Littleman Even though she does not promote this chapter, there's no special reasons other than that she supports Dean, and she gives him a pretty massive support. Misha, which we might as well talk about. She is a Pegasus Knight, pre-promoted level 4 with a follow-up critical modifier of 2. Very adept at using magical weapons, so the Wind Sword is pretty perfect on her. I'm keeping it on her for that reason. She's going to help us out with a little bit of combat. Master Sword is also useful. I figured she needs a brave weapon. Everybody else in the whole world of Thracia has some kind of brave weapon. And her base stats are pretty darn good. They're obviously less than as good as Karen's are right now, but Karen has the great and dubious honor of not only getting promotional gains, but also having scrolls for over half this game. So I can't possibly down Misha's stats at all for that. In fact, she's perfectly serviceable. Very fantastic unit. Her strength is a little bit low, but considering that she comes with a Rider's Bane, so she's really... The idea behind her is to use effective weaponry or magic weaponry. She's really good with magic weaponry, especially with the magical swords in this game, considering also that over half the rest of the chapters of this game are all indoors. She's actually pretty adept at being indoors, even though she'd be better off outdoors. She has very good growth, 65% HP, 55% strength, 15 magic, 65 skill, 80% speed, 40% luck, 20% defense, 5% con, and 1% movement. Very good growths, very good base stats, very good utility. A rank in both swords and lances with 1 vigor star, 6 movement, as she is receiving that -3 from being dismounted. She is lacking in any skills, but I think that her utility itself is more than makes up for that. Karen would probably be an easy character to replace for me on most runs with Misha if it wasn't for the fact that Karen gives a Fergus support, and Fergus enjoys the critical and the dodge, and I usually use Fergus all the time, so I end up just using every one of the flyers in this game. You only get 4 total, but it's more than enough for your needs, especially considering that when you get to the point in the game where you only have indoor chapters, they're actually not really that great. They have to have some kind of utility. Dean and Misha both have utility. Being dismounted, having A rank in swords on both is pretty wildly strong. Even Karen is not so bad because Karen starts off with very close to a C rank in swords, so you can get her at least to that benchmark, but as you can see, our Karen's kind of wildly busted. And that's, again, like I said, that's due to scrolls. We didn't even early promote her. I think she was like level 17 by the time we promoted her. We are bringing several other interesting units of note, like for instance Dean with a door key and a sleep edge. Now why in the world would Dean need that? Well, because some of the best strategies in this game have to deal with some pretty cheesy mechanics, and putting units to sleep is forever in this game. What's interesting is that if you put the lieutenants to sleep, the civilians can still talk to them, though that's not the case in any other instance in this game. And I mean any other instance. You silence or put somebody to sleep, you can't talk to them. Fergus with combat, obviously. Sarah, you know, she's here. Awesome. I forgot my own silliness. I said that I was going to give her a wind tome, but she actually can't use the wind tome because it's D rank, which is funny. I have to wait till she's promoted. So yeah, that means that we have to use silly old Thunder. It's not that bad of a tome, and she makes perfect use of it, so it's okay. Salem as well, we're going to be doing some things with him. He needs to be able to heal. And Tina, we're actually bringing her because she has the unlock staff, and we want to unlock some things. Maybe even thieve some things. But let's see. Yeah, Linoan has the Ensorcel. I think what we want to do is trade Linoan the Ensorcel to... Yeah, I think we'll do just that. We'll keep the rescue. Yeah, she can't use any of these things because Linoan actually has a very unfortunate staff rank. She has a far and away better light rank, so she's more of the combat version, combatively viable version of Sarah, but Sarah has her like enemy phasing that she can do. So that's pretty much how we've had everybody geared up. And we're going to go ahead and save as I have made an alteration. And we're going to deploy. Chapter 18, The Liberation of Leonster. I trust we have an understanding, Xavier. My lord. An understanding that I'm the only general who will tolerate your worthless life. I could have killed you at any moment over these past several years, but I didn't. In fact, I made you my right-hand man. I trust you won't forget my generosity. Right-hand man? I've merely done what I could to aid you, nothing more. Yes, you've been quite the asset, and if you'll recall, I've reciprocated that. I've granted your every request, within reason. Now, how many lords do you think would do that? Huh. What? Is something funny? Oh, is there something else you want, princess? Well, let's hear it. Out with it, now. Unless you can bring back the dead, I don't think you can help me. Ah, very funny. Though it doesn't compare to your greatest joke, your knighthood. Look at yourself. You're every bit the fiend as I. Worse, perhaps, as the rebels resent you as a turncoat and traitor. Even if you were to betray me and offer them your sword, they'd never accept you. I know, damn it. I prepared myself for this. After so long, perhaps I can finally show my face to them, even if it's from across the field of battle. Bah, enough. I'm just another soldier. I'm not afraid to face death. Augustus, are you certain this is a good idea? Splitting our forces in two like this? It's a necessary maneuver if we wish to protect the castle's interior, or treasure. Besides, rescuing the hostages will require two teams working in tandem. And how do we talk down General Xavier? With great difficulty, I imagine. If you're determined to save him, however, I'd try having the hostages speak with the 8 adjutants. Perhaps they'll see reason. Just take care that they are not spotted by Imperial soldiers. If Gustav's men catch sight of them and escaped hostage, the plan is ruined. Understood. All right, everyone, take breaching positions. By day's end, the flag of the J. Bowl will fly from Castle Leonster once more. That is actually right funny, because I put Pern on the wrong side. We'll be back. Alright, now that our item management is finished, and Parn is over here, as he needs to be because we have to open up some doors with him, we are going to start attacking with Merida and our other units to get these guys out of our way. We need to clear this hallway as fast as possible, as well as we need to block off these respawn or reinforcement points. We also need to block off this reinforcement point as well. There is one here. I wish I could block off, but the only way you're doing that is with warp, and that's not something I necessarily need to do. So, oh well, you know. Wind Sword on Misha. Just blast away at this Armor Knight. Get a decent amount of experience points, too, while we're at it. We could put a unit to sleep. That would be interesting. If, for instance, a reinforcement unit was to enter here, we could put him to sleep. We're not going to worry about that too much right now. We are going to use that magic ring on Leif, so now that he finally has 9 magic before promotion, I don't think he gets any magic upon promotion, so that's not really a thing, but we will see soon. As Leif promotes after this chapter, we are also going to rescue Linowin, take, and give Linowin to Dean. We are also going to use Shroff to warp Dean all the way up here to this door. Awesome, decent level up. We'll move Sarah forward. And Tina, we can use to start unlocking some chests. I think the only chests that we want are this one here. And this one here. This one particularly as fast as possible. And we missed. Not that big of a deal for turn 1. Weapon level increase. No movement star either. Let's see. We do have the lightning sword equipped. And we are going to open the door. Yeah, so as you can see, we are not going to be keeping alive the Leonster units. Yeah, this enemy phase is a bit precarious because you really do not want, just really do not want a movement star on any of the lieutenants. I was considering resetting if that happened, but if it happened, it happened. I'm just going to let it go. If we don't get Xavier, we don't get Xavier. It's unfortunate. There is nothing I can do about it. Alright, so those Leonster goons are away from us. Don't no longer have to worry about them getting in our way. Yeah, it's funny because the dancers will literally dance for each other and dance for all the units. Alright, so we have plenty of things to do. I don't think any one of these units have range. So we can kind of just attack them as we see fit. Let's see. I think what we want to do here is equip the Sleep Edge and drop Linowin. That will rebuff up Dean's stats, and then now he's ready to go. The only reason why we picked up Linowin is so that she could be right next to Dean for the very necessary support, which is exactly what we needed. Jormungandr, that's a quick one-shot. Very nice. Fergus can go this way, and the rest of my units can move upward. I almost want to attack some of these guys at range. This is the only Frege unit that we can attack, I believe. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Just to get rid of them. Waste of light brands, it may be, but the more of those guys we have disappear, the better for our cause. Misha, you can move over yonder as well. I think what we need to do here is... this is going to be rough. I almost want to say it would be a good idea to just warp somebody over to this tile. Asbel would reach reasonably quick. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to do that. And unlock again. Perfect. We got the body ring. This is something that will absolutely be going to our thief. Increases constitution by 3, vanishes after use. Pern would absolutely love to have more constitution. Always would. And unlock. I'm actually not sure which one to unlock. I do believe the one we need to unlock is the upper left-hand corner. We're going to find out. If we even unlock it. And another level up for Tina. And we got the Njorn scroll. Very nice. 30% strength, minus 10% magic, plus 10% speed, minus 5% luck, plus 5% defense. This is an incredible scroll. It has some major downsides, but that's because having that much strength is kind of a bit crazy. Oh, nice. Very nice. 11 damage. I almost don't want to do this. Because I'll be attacked by both the Leonster Knights, and they will KO Sarah if they both hit. Would be nice for experience points, but I think we're just going to sit here and wait. Sometimes it's better to just be prudent. And that's our turn. Yeah, so this is the problem with these knights, or these Leonsters, or that reinforcement tile there, is you have to deal with rewarping Jormungandr users. Yep, they're just gonna keep running away now. Ah, we took a good hit out of them. Ooh, very nice level up. Incredible, even. That doesn't matter so much, just because all the knights are going to be in the way anyway. Lucky for us that that happened when it did. Very nice. Alright, Asbel is clearing out the Leonster rabble. It's unfortunate we have to KO them because they are technically our soldiers, but they're in the way, so we're going to do our best to get them out of the way, unfortunately. However, with that being said, I think this is a perfect and wonderful and beautiful opportunity for us to go ahead and bid our farewells. This is going to be kind of a little bit of a long one at the start, just because we have to deal with putting to sleep all of these units. We missed on the one. Well, that was a freed unit, so that actually doesn't matter so much. But we have, like, for instance, all the rest of these guys, they need to be put to sleep. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.